All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my
Kinky Tauntaun.
Shields up, Captain.
This landing is gonna get pretty interesting.
Define interesting.
Oh god, we're all gonna die?
Perhaps today is a good day to
Someone ever tries to kill you, you try to kill him right back.
Control. You must gain control.
We are controlling transmission.
Captain, incoming message.
Also, I can kill you with my brain.
Make it so.
The Kinky Tauntaun.
This way smells like good.
I want it.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Solo.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. That means we're supposed to go play hockey in the brewery / mental institution, Jeff.
Oh. I was like, I'm not recognizing this. But now, yeah, of course, I know what you're talking about. Strange Brew.
Oh, yeah. That's Strange Brew, y'all. Go watch that shit. Anyway, hey, this is Muchacha, and welcome to Kinky Tauntaun episode 12. Hey there, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's summer. It's hot as a sweaty ball scrotum outside. We're definitely in the dog days, and let me tell you, there just doesn't seem like. I know this is completely unscripted. We did not plan to talk about this, but what the fuck is up with like the movie season this summer? Does it not seem like it sucks to you?
I was just looking, and it's like Star Trek Beyond and maybe Ghostbusters, and then when does Suicide Squad come out?
Oh, like the week after, like 2 weeks after Star Trek, I guess.
So it's still summer, but that's about it, man.
I'm actually less thrilled about Suicide Squad and Star Trek for a number of reasons. I'm actually kind of stoked about this Ghostbusters, despite the naysaying, but it just seems like there is a hell of a lot less real, like movie fun popcorn entertainment out this summer than there has been in several years past. And, with the end of Game of Thrones, I'm just like, I've been sitting around watching Chopped and shit. What the fuck? I mean, that show's okay, but it ain't all that.
You need to watch Cutthroat Kitchen.
I think I have watched that one, actually, but, oh well, I digress. Anyway, Jeffrey.
How'd we get on Food Network?
I don't know. I don't know. It's because of the lack of good movies, damn it.
I know. We started rewatching Dexter again.
Ooh. Okay, as far as binge watching, I've been watching because I'm like this. I like Agatha Christie's Poirot, and I've been watching that on Netflix. Thank you very much. They're like 70 episodes. I'm only like maybe 30 in, so I still have some ways to go.
Tied you over.
Tied me over. Anyway.
Until The Strain comes out.
Oh, yeah, I know. Doesn't it? Okay. It even seems like the cool summer shows that we had the last few years have either been like they're gone, they're done, and some of them mercifully so, like Under the Dome.
Oh, they're starting at the ass end of summer.
Yeah, and like The Strain starting at the ass end of summer. You get like, I thought we were going to have Fear the Walking Dead through the summer. Nope. What the fuck? God damn it, Hollywood. Get your shit together. Anyway, Jeff, what are we doing with these tangents? We got stuff to talk about. What are we going to talk about?
Star Wars.
We're Kinky Tauntauns talking about Star Wars?
Like you said, bread and butter, man.
It is the bread and butter. So, we've been wanting to revisit Star Wars several times in the past few months. However, something has always come up in the way. We keep like floating out like, oh, we should talk about this. But how we've decided to do is sort of let some dust settle on some things. So some of these stories are probably a month or two old. However, we have not yet addressed them on the show. A couple of these things are actually kind of new. So, Jeffrey, without further ado, Kinky Tauntaun episode 12 is going to address the top 5 Star Wars news stories / rumors of the past several months. Thank you. So anyway, have you been reading, or should I say audiobooking, any of the more recent Star Wars novels?
Just the Force Awakens one. I've been planning on it, but
well, okay. I have not. And this is because I'm still a little bitter about the extended universe.
Yeah.
Because you've been to my house, you know that I own every single one of those novels up until about 2012-ish, and I read them all, and almost to a religious fanatical point. And then when Disney purchased the franchise, they're like, that stuff never happened. Fuck you people. And they rebranded it Legends. So I'm a little bitter. I'm a little bitter, Jeff.
Yeah, I always wanted to see Heir to the Empire, series.
Oh, I know, man. Like, I can understand wanting to make something new and different, but Force Awakens wasn't really that new and that different. You know what I mean?
It was kind of a remake, almost.
A faithful adaptation, perhaps. I don't know.
We're going to get some hate for that, man.
Chuck Wendig is an author whom I actually enjoy, and he wrote one of the first ones that came out in the month. I think it came out in September, leading up to the December release of Force Awakens. But it came out with Aftermath, and I heard good things about it. I haven't read it yet. Like I said, I'm still I'm trying to bury that bitterness. That I've been reading a lot of Philip K. Dick lately, but whatever. Then we had another novel that came out just a couple months ago called Bloodlines that zeroed in on Princess Leia, that took place a few years before the Force Awakens. So that actually gave us a lot of information as far as the immediate backstory leading up to the Force Awakens and what Leia was up to. Even has some references to Luke. I have not read it yet, although I've read extensively about it. What about you?
This is the first time hearing about it, so.
Oh, well, it definitely shoots holes in various theories about Rey and Kylo Ren and whether or not they knew each other and things like that. Of course, these books are considered canon, as well as some of the comic books stories out there, which I have read a little bit of. Unfortunately, the writer for the Star Wars comic, in my opinion, was fucking terrible, so I couldn't read any more of them. But anyway.
It's considered canon until it's not. Someday, though.
Yeah, it's canon until it's not. It's like that Star Wars holiday special.
It's like The Force Unleashed. It's canon, honest. No, it's not.
At least that's cool. I mean, it took George how many years? It took him like 25 years to disavow the holiday special. I remember reading that 1994, so almost 25 years to exactly. George is like, oh yeah,
can't wait till our Christmas special so I can play that Merry Christmas R2 We Love You song. Remember that? That's awful.
Yeah, sadly that's one of the best parts.
When I played it, my wife was like, ew, turn it off.
Okay. Honestly, the best part of the holiday special, for those of you who have not seen the Star Wars holiday special from 1978 or 79, I think it was 78 actually. Anyway, it featured some of your characters. They're going back to Kashyyyk for Wookiee Life Day, and it's supposed to be like a Christmas thing. And it's like a variety thing, and it has terrible. It's supposed to feature Chewbacca's family, and nothing really looks very good. But I tell you this, it's the first appearance of Boba Fett. He's actually featured in an animated sort of side cartoon in the animated show. And what I'm telling people is you can actually go and watch it on YouTube, the whole holiday special, I believe. But you can definitely watch the Boba Fett animated version. And actually, the animated Boba Fett cartoon thing was actually pretty cool.
I don't remember it hardly at all.
Well, go YouTube that shit, Jeffrey.
All right, but I remember.
Damn it!
I remember it being horrible, and
it's horrible. Don't get me wrong; it's bad, but even it's bad when even Boba Fett can't redeem much of anything.
I didn't realize that was his first appearance. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They even came out. The toy was released thereafter, and that's why it's like one of the most valuable Star Wars toys. Nerding out. Anyways, our real number 5 rumor or slash news story is they're actually coming out with a book that's going to be featuring Maz Kanata. So Jeffrey, Force Awakens. What do you think of old Maz?
Very interesting character. I am
fascinating indeed. I like the character.
I think it could be one of the most interesting characters in the story arc. Just because of the history and everything she's seen. You know, if they delve into that, it could flesh things out. You know, maybe not in the movies, but in the books, definitely delve into Maz Kanata's life.
Well, I mean, it definitely. I don't know, because obviously the book's not out yet, but the one question I think everybody is clamoring to have answered is, hey, how did Maz Kanata get Luke's lightsaber? Luke / Anakin's lightsaber.
How much of a Jedi is she?
Right, and like, how much did she know the previous Jedis? Like, were she and Yoda BFFs? Did they hook up, like, for casual hookups every once in a while? How awkward would that be?
I think she likes them tall, though.
Tall and hairy.
Yeah. That was hilarious. Where's my boyfriend?
Say what?
That was hilarious. Where's my boyfriend?
So anyway, this is supposed to be this is another Chuck Wendig novel that's coming out, and it's supposed to be a direct sequel to the one that came out last September, and this one's called Aftermath Life Debt, which of course refers to, it has to refer to Chewbacca in some way, shape, or form.
It would definitely seem so.
Yeah, because, for those of you who are keeping up in your Star Wars tabs, we have a young Han Solo. Hopefully this will be some of what the new Han Solo movie is going to be about, is how young Han Solo breaks ranks with the Imperial. He was according to the, I guess it's not even canon anymore, but what had existed before is he was an Imperial cadet who saw that some of these Wookiees were being enslaved, and apparently he saved Chewbacca from being murdered or whatever, and Chewbacca therein after swears the Wookiee life debt. So I have, in all my readings of other species, I was not familiar of any other species that swore a life debt like the Wookiees swore.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway, so I'm going to read just a little bit of what it says in the article about what's coming up. Let's see. When it checks in the character before audience first meet her in The Force Awakens, years before Rey would find the legendary lightsaber that was once Luke Skywalker's and Anakin's before him in the basement of Maz's castle. The excerpt, because it actually has a little excerpt from this Life Debt book, set just after the Empire's defeat in Return of the Jedi, is an interlude that puts readers among the colorful characters in Maz's castle and makes clear the one rule of the joint, one that's broken by a guy who suffered huge personal losses in the Empire's downfall. Anyway, so we're definitely going to be getting a whole lot of Maz, apparently, in this novel, and it takes place directly after Return of the Jedi. So, Jeffrey, what do you expect to learn from this novel?
Hopefully more about Maz. I don't know. Like I said, with all the changing of what's canon and what's not, it's... they're really changing things up, really turning things on its head. So, I don't know.
Well, the article goes on to say that, I guess it's definitely going to be featuring Kashyyyk in some regard. It goes on to say something about how Leia orders Han Solo and Chewbacca to go liberate Kashyyyk from Imperial rule, which, even in the expanded literature, they sort of poo-poo how difficult it would be to, in fact, eradicate the Empire. People are just like, thankfully, the Emperor's dead. Let's just go back to democracy. And it's like, okay, like, as much as I like the EU, there are going to be people who, like, dug the authoritarian regime presented by the Empire. I mean, for every Great Britain and United States, there's a Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. Like, we're just democratic principles just aren't going to mesh with societies and cultures, and especially among alien races and species. It's just like, why might they prefer? I mean,
and I'm
obviously
seeing an
Kashyyyk
emperor.
would be sworn enemies of the Empire. What was that, Jeff?
And I'm seeing an emperor with a yellow comb over.
Ooh, oh, we're not talking about that guy. Fuck that guy. Anyway, all right. Anything else we want to say about Life Debt before we get going?
It'll be interesting to see the liberation of Kashyyyk. Probably going to see some more limbs torn out of their sockets.
Yeah, perhaps. And like I said, I think the one thing most people are hoping to learn is just how did Maz Kanata get hold of this lightsaber. If she's running some sort of intergalactic watering hole and a sort of a magnet of interesting happenings going on, it stands to reason for me at least, I think what I could see happening in this book is somebody from Bespin, oh, hey, I was cleaning out the gutters in the Cloud City, and I found this hand with the lightsaber. You want it? And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll take that. And just sort of sits there for the next 30 years.
One of those little pig guys.
Oh, the Ugnaughts.
The Ugnaughts, yeah.
That's right. I knew what those things were called, and I've had sex before.
I knew you'd know what it was called.
At least twice. I have 2 children. Anyway, moving on. Rumor news story number 4, Jeffrey. We have the Rian Johnson directed Star Wars Episode 8, as yet untitled. Shoots are ending this month. John Boyega tweeted out that he finished up this past week. Mark Hamill apparently is done as well, and there's a few more characters who apparently are still shooting up to the end of the month. But it shoots. It's done. We're a year and a half away from this movie. Of course, I think how Disney is planning, they're basically building in the schedule plans for reshoots, which we learn about with Rogue One, which we'll talk about in just a second. So there'll probably definitely be some reshooting of scenes. But, dude, it's a year and a half early. What do we think?
That's a lot of spit and polish they can put on the graphics, the special effects.
That's a good way of looking. It's a lot of spit and polish for
good.
CG and whatever else special effects they need to do.
We want those special effects to look awesome. So,
well, you do, but I also, one of the things I appreciated with Force Awakens was how there just weren't that many as far as CGI, computer generated effects.
They went back to models and stuff. Yeah, that was a good idea. There's more depth with models.
And they were using a lot more on-set locations. I know they were filming in Croatia. Of course, they were filming in Ireland. They had an extensive set that was built in Ireland, and it made quite a bit of news, which we'll actually talk about here in just a second for other reasons. But, it makes me... Okay, I like Rian Johnson. I have liked Rian Johnson since, 2005, 2006, when this little movie that nobody had ever heard of called Brick came out. And a colleague of mine was like, hey, go check out this movie called Brick. This was back when we actually had Blockbuster Videos and could actually go there and rent movies.
Oh, how quaint.
I know, right? Precious. So I went and rented this Brick movie. It actually it has Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whom I've been following for a while anyway, since Third Rock from the Sun. I always liked him. I even remember him in an old movie. He was a kid with Demi Moore. It was The Client. It wasn't The Client. That's John Grisham one. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. I basically had followed his career since he was little because we're roughly the same age and on through. And Brick was one of his first.
God, he looks so much younger than we do.
Yeah. Genetics, man. All right. Anyway, he was in this movie Brick, which is very much a peculiar movie. Have you ever watched it?
No, I haven't.
All right. I own it. Next time you're over, I almost think we should watch it, even
Saturday.
though it might bore your wife to tears. Brick is... Okay, it's one of those movies it's linguistically dense. It really takes you a good... I compare it to watching a Shakespeare play in that, okay, this is the same language technically, but it takes you about a good 10, 15 minutes to sort of shift into that gear where you're actually starting to understand them and everything they say. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Is it in Shakespearean language?
It's not in Shakespearean language. In fact, it's in like a 1930s crime noir type language.
Yeah, say yeah. Not quite that
kind
bad.
of. But no, it has this very like dated language, and it definitely stands out as a mix of something like Shakespearean, but something also from crime noir from back in the 30s, which I definitely dig that shit anyway. And so I watched this movie, and I'm like, man, I'd never heard of Rian Johnson at that point. That was his first real movie. And I just fucking loved it. I actually went out and bought Brick like the next day because I was like so fascinated by that film. And then he had another movie came out, and I think the most recent one that people really know is Looper with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That was a weird ass movie.
It's a weird ass movie, but it's a damn good movie.
That scene where the guy is getting slowly dismantled from from the other
he's falling
body
apart, sort of.
Like his nose
that's cool.
disappears.
Anyways, I guess what I'm saying is that like I have such faith in Rian Johnson that either things have gone so spectacularly with filming episode 8, or it's a complete piece of shit.
Well, it might be kind of dark,
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's the middle chapter needs to be dark, and they've actually released some of these photos from the set, or at least like costume concepts and whatever. And I remember sending to you. I'm like, man, I don't think you're as big of a fan. I'm not a real big fan, but I'm sort of casual about it. But the old Clint Eastwood movies, like The Good, Bad, the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More. It's called The Man with No Name trilogy. Anyway, so they released this picture of Luke Skywalker in his new episode 8 costume, and I'm like, man, he looks kind of like Clint Eastwood, Man with No Name. And so like I'm just getting these vibes. I'm like, can you imagine, like, what if Luke Skywalker is like the galactic Man with No Name?
Well, he did wear the poncho in A New Hope.
Oh, well, no, he looks like he has a poncho in this one.
Yeah. He's worn ponchos before.
So I don't know what to think, Jeff. I think either like Rian Johnson, he nailed it. He's writing the script for episode 9. He's not directing it. Colin Trevorrow's directing it, but he's also supposed to be writing. So he wrote episode 8, and things have either gone just so fucking well, or it's a piece of shit, and we're not going to know what to do with it.
I hope it went well. Let's just.
I hope so too.
Let's just go with that.
He even directed one of the highest rated episodes of television ever, which I think we mentioned before, is the Ozymandias episode of Breaking Bad, which is, spoiler alert, it's the one where Hank dies towards the end of the series, and it has a damn good episode, and that doesn't even speak to his writing abilities, because he just directed it, whereas like Looper and Brick, he wrote and directed, like episode 8. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and go to number 3. Number 3, speaking of reshoots, some people were shitting bricks, or at least it was making for plenty of clickbait, when Rogue One, the film that's supposed to be coming out in December, had extensive reshoots ordered. This is the one that's directed by Gareth Edwards, the guy who did the most recent incarnation of Godzilla. And some people were shitting bricks because, like, oh, reshoots mean it's terrible. But in fact,
shitting
Marvel,
Durasteel bricks.
Yeah. In fact, Marvel has scheduled all of their movies now for extensive reshoots. And it even, like, there was one rumor where they had shown it to test audiences and it bombed. But when what actually came of it is it was shown to top Disney brass, and they're like, okay, you're going to make some changes, lighten up the tone, and then you're good. So I'm guessing that those reshoots are probably going to be wrapping up shortly. And we've also gotten in the last couple of weeks that we have a definitive Darth Vader in one of the teaser trailers, and we're expected to get a full, which is actually my next story, but we're expected to get a full trailer out at Comic-Con in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that in just a second. But in the meantime, Jeff, Rogue One reshoots. Is it just time to shit a brick, or is all is well?
Do you think they're just, they said lighten up the tone. Do you think they're just going in and maybe adding some lighter moments?
Yeah.
Maybe they find Jar Jar.
Oh, God damn it. That's not lightning tone. That's killing tone. You son of a bitch, Jeff.
I have to help you get the Death Star plans.
Oh, my God. You ain't funny. You ain't funny. Yeah, son of a bitch, Jeff. Yeah, son of a bitch. All right. No, apparently, Marvel has so ingrained the idea of reshoots for their filmmakers. I think filmmakers are actually just they're banking on things, and so they're not necessarily counting on things to nail the. We don't have a Stanley Kubrick director where they're going to have 786 takes of just one scene. Some directors will be let's pick it up and reshoots. Fuck it, let's keep going. Because apparently that's what happened with Captain America: Civil War, where the God damn it. I want to call them the Coen brothers. They're not the Coen brothers. The Russo brothers who directed the Captain America films. They knew they had the reshoots, and they apparently employed reshoots extensively for both Civil War and Winter Soldier, and it was just part of the plan. And obviously, those are probably two of, if not the two best Marvel films out there.
Well, it actually sounds like a good idea to do planned reshoots because
especially plan for them and
you get an actual look at what you've done and how it could be made better instead of just trying to do it.
And for the Russo brothers, it's absolutely worked.
Yeah.
All right. So, I think no bricks need to be shit yet. And here's the thing. I'm also not expecting Rogue One to be just mind-blowing. I'm not. I'm expecting it to be good. I'm expecting it to be entertaining. And I'm expecting it to be better than the prequels.
It could be a sleeper. Could come out and be just totally awesome.
Could be. I don't think it's gonna be a sleeper. It's gonna be making some fat bank, man. Fat bank.
No. I mean, everyone's expecting it to be good, and it could be even more.
Like a turd? Are you expecting it to be a turd, Jeff?
No. I'm going positive. This will probably be pretty good. I go see it, and it turns out to be awesome.
Oh, yeah, but it's got a lot. I mean, it's Star Wars. This seems hyped, man. It's hyped. All right, well, I've already mentioned it, so let's go ahead and talk about it. The number 2 story / rumor is, hey, Jeff, number 1, we got Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con coming up in a couple weeks, or less than. Let's just see what date that is. But anyway, it is expected that Rogue One is going to be getting a full 3-minute trailer.
Cool. 3 minutes? Wow. It's a long-ass trailer.
See, what was that?
That's a long-ass trailer.
I don't know. I remember when Force Awakens dropped that really big trailer before it came out, in October or whatever. It was 2.5 minutes, so 3 minutes isn't that bad. Or that long, rather. That could just be a sneak peek. I don't know. But that's the rumor, is that we're getting a full trailer in a couple weeks of Rogue One. Judging by what we got from the teaser trailer, where it sort of, featured Donnie Yu and Forrest Whitaker and, of course, some of the other characters throughout. But, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. I wonder if Donnie Yen, is that how you say his name?
I'm hoping.
I'm wondering if he's force sensitive.
Well, I think they say he's blind in the movie, right?
Yeah, I thought that's what I heard. So
okay, so yeah, you heard the same thing. How was he able to kick ass without the Force, man? He's not Arya Stark.
A staff against blasters.
True too. Okay, let's hope
need some Force for that shit.
And he's maybe he's one of those characters that could show up as an older version, and that's I'm hoping to get some crossover with this episode 8. And I've heard, because I'm on this like white on rice and stink on shit. I check these rumors all the time, just probably every day. But the rumor is that there will be a crossover character from Rogue One who will show up in episode 8. We don't know who. That? We don't know what. It could just be some alien in the background somewhere, chilling out. It could be Donnie Yen, and it could be Forrest Whitaker has already crossed over because his character is actually one of the characters from Clone Wars. I don't know if you saw that.
No, well, I've seen Clone Wars, but which character is he?
I haven't finished Clone Wars. I'm only on season 3, and his character I don't think has come up yet. I might actually be on season 4, but whatever.
You're being a bad nerd this time.
Say what?
You're being a bad nerd this time. It's usually me.
Oh, I have to be in a certain kind of mood to watch Clone Wars. Like, it's good. I like it. And in my opinion, it's the only real prequels. But I also have to be in a particular mood to watch it.
Good.
I caught up on Star Wars Rebels. So, like, I feel good about that. But I haven't finished Clone Wars yet.
Oh, you should. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Okay, anyway. So yeah, there's supposed to be some crossover there, and of course we're getting some Darth Vader.
Yes.
What are we hoping to get out of this next trailer, Jeffrey? Do you want something that's more indicative of the story? I mean, that's the thing. We already know what the story is about, so I'm personally hoping for something that offers more than just what we expect out of the story. Like, we almost, like, if we already know the story's about getting the Death Star plans. We've known that since, like, day one.
Many Bosons died.
That's Return of the Jedi, goddammit, Jeff. Wrong Death Star.
Oh, sorry. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Man. Anyway. Yeah, so you don't have to do any retconning with that anyway. So, yeah. The first Death Star, the plans, and it's supposed to... What I've read is that Rogue One will end shortly before Leia gets the plans and puts them into R2-D2 on her ship.
Well, here's one thing I'm wondering. With Darth Vader being in there and the possibility of Donnie Yen being a Force wielder, that doesn't look good for his character then.
Well, if he just goes into hiding somewhere, it could. But then again, I think that a lot of those people who are going for the Death Star plans are probably going to get killed. So,
yeah, I think I see a Vader Donnie Yen fight where it doesn't end good for Donnie.
Stands to reason there might be some sacrifice here. If we're going to guess, I think you're probably right on.
Because if you're going to have Vader, you have to show how much of a badass he is.
Right. Yeah.
And do you think they'd have Hayden Christensen be under the mask?
No, fuck no. First of all, I've already read that James Earl Jones has recorded his dialogue for Darth Vader, and secondly, it doesn't matter who's under the mask. It's just a stand-in with a mask on.
Well, that's what I was saying. They could throw him a bone. Be like, you haven't had much work lately, man. Come be in this mask. You don't have to say anything. You just have to do the lightsaber fighting, which you're pretty good at.
No, Jeff. I think I'd almost rather have fucking Jar Jar.
Misa, find your lack of faith disturbing.
No, Jeff. No. What's wrong with you? I'm trying to be excited about this shit. And you're just you're dropping trowel in my dreams and just shitting all over them.
The funny thing is, my wife has to be about the only one that likes Jar Jar.
You know what? Maybe it's time for your wife to sleep on the couch.
Nah, I'll keep her.
All right. All right, so the last rumor/news story is actually, I think, the oldest of these rumor/news stories because I think it surfaced mid-May, early May is when this came out. And I've been itching, chomping at the bit to talk about this one.
There are salves for that.
Say what?
There are salves.
Other salves
for the itching.
Yeah, well, I'm probably gonna need one, Jeff. Anyway, so had you heard, before I sent you the link to this, had you heard about this?
Yeah, but not maybe a week or two beforehand, so
okay,
it was new to me.
You at least made the news cycle for you, because it actually got picked up by a lot of outlets. It goes like this, and for those of you who are really wanting to approach Star Wars with episode 8 with fresh eyes, fresh ears, and don't want even the slightest possibility of something being spoiled, I would say turn around now and head for the exit, because the rumor has to do with a certain plot leak, and I will sum it up in such a way. The plot leak goes that in episode 8, there is a flashback or force vision, whatever. It involves a force tree, which was introduced into canon recently in one of the comic books featuring Luke Skywalker and Poe Dameron's mother, by the way, who apparently also was a part of the Resistance, or at least the Rebel Alliance. And
wait a minute.
What?
Remember how we were talking about Poe? And his abilities seemed a little maybe force enhanced.
Yeah. People were like, "Oh, maybe he was conceived near the force tree that makes him force sensitive." It could very well be.
Or maybe Luke had sex with his mom.
No, the father's there too. So
but still,
it
maybe
wasn't Luke.
Threesome.
Oh my God damn it, Jeff! This is a family show. God damn it!
Sure it is.
All right, not at all. Not at all. Anyway, so the story goes is that there's this vision.
I'm sorry. I have to say. You know those religious cult leaders? They like to sleep with everyone's wives.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Anyways, the plot leak is, and this is from. Apparently, the source is someone who accurately leaked aspects of the Force Awakens plots before it came out. So, allegedly, this is a reliable leak, and I'm going to preface this by saying I hope the fuck not, because the story is that there's this Force tree. It's like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years in the past. And it involves a brother and a sister who are near this tree, and the sister approaches the tree, and the brother approaches the tree, and the brother is corrupted by the Force and is thereafter a wielder of the dark side, and the girl is she's the founder of the Jedi Order, and obviously a practitioner of the light side of the Force, and so she started the Jedi Order, and apparently upon her death, she prophesied that one day she would return, and this is not the chosen one balance to the Force prophecy. This is something different, and that Rey is in fact the return of the First Jedi.
Do they have ponytails with little pink tendrils on the end that they can hook into the tree with?
Maybe. I don't know.
Avatar style. I'm not digging this idea. I'm not digging the whole Force tree idea.
No, I'm not digging this idea.
It's supposed to be
okay.
Everywhere.
The Force tree in and of itself, I don't mind. They're actually the whole Jedi thing is sort of loosely based on Buddhism anyway, and there actually are sort of.
This is the banyan tree. This is the banyan.
What?
This is the banyan tree.
Yeah, right. So, there's that idea of mystical trees in Buddhism, and, I can sort of see it playing a role, but I despise, I loathe this idea of playing with reincarnation in the Star Wars universe. I'm not going to say anything about reincarnation. If you want to believe in that stuff, that's cool. I am not going to poo-poo that in and of itself at all. I just there's no precedent set for it in Star Wars. It doesn't really have a place. I don't want it. Just be fucking original and come up with your own ideas.
I don't. I just thought the whole. I just think they could come up with a better idea. Honestly,
I think they could. I definitely think they could. So what I'm saying is, if this is in fact a plot leak of a key element, I'm extremely disappointed, and that it goes back to our number 4 rumor about either this movie is fucking spectacular and everything went well, or a complete piece of shit. If this rumor is true, I can already tell you the story is gonna the story doesn't have anything of value. It completely devalues the story.
Who knows? Maybe they'll figure out a way to make it rich and have depth and bring something to the story.
Talk me down from the ledge, man. How can they incorporate this idea and still make a worthwhile, meaningful, original movie?
Well, the whole thing about Qui-Gon and Yoda learning to retain themselves within the Force after they die.
Okay, the Force Ghost.
Yeah, well, most of the Jedi, when they kind of go into the Force, they lose their sense of self and they become a part of the whole. But there are a few Jedi over the years that have learned how to maintain their
come to think
oneness.
About it, I did read this rumor as well that Frank Oz also recorded audio for Episode 8.
Woohoo!
So we're supposed to be getting some Yoda.
But let's say the reincarnated Rey figure from long time ago was the first person to figure out how to retain their oneness within the Force, and basically waited for a time to return.
And according to George Lucas's admission, Luke Skywalker is supposed to be the most powerful Jedi who has ever lived. How would that... if Luke Skywalker is the most powerful, then still Luke Skywalker would be more powerful than this First Jedi.
Well, we haven't seen it yet. I say prove it. You haven't seen him be uber powerful yet.
This is actually part of the same leak also said that this has to do with that filming in Ireland. They built a Millennium Falcon set, and it's supposed to be like at the end of Force Awakens where she's on the island. There are those old like stone huts or whatever. So they built like a facsimile of that in Ireland on a cliff somewhere where it wasn't, UNESCO international heritage site. And it had, according to the leak, this is also something I have a beef with, is Kylo Ren, that scene where in Force Awakens where she sees the Knights of Ren,
the massacre,
and the rain. Yeah, apparently that's a vision of the future and not a vision of the past.
Really?
And, yeah, and this basically they all attack Luke and Rey on Octu ACH-TO. Which is from the novelization and from the script of Force Awakens. And basically, Kylo is trying to get Rey, and Luke makes exquisitely short work of the other Knights of Ren, like, really quickly.
That'd be cool to see.
Say what?
That would be cool to see.
Yeah, but according to the leak, it says that he just gets mad and does it. I'm like, Luke Skywalker's not supposed to get mad and
that could turn out bad.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't want to believe this rumor, like, at all.
Well, lots of people have toyed with the idea that Luke is going to fall to the dark side or is in danger of falling to the dark side.
I think he's past. This is 30 years, man. And you and I both know from getting older, just like that same intensity and rage does not quite burn as hot as the years go by.
You want to know my secret?
I'm going to go with churros.
I'm always angry.
Are you quoting Incredible Hulk?
Yes, I am.
Damn it, Jeff. All right. Anyway, hold on. Let me hush some girls. Girls, hush.
Well, then hold on. Cool cat, out.
Anyway. So Jeff, like I said, I have this faith in Rian Johnson that he's not going to do me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But there are these little rumors that come out, and I'm just like, fuck, because that just deflates my sense of security regarding Rian Johnson.
Well, I guess maybe we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we are just going to have to wait and see. But
the trailers, I wonder when the trailers will start coming out.
Well, maybe we'll get a snippet of something at Comic-Con this next week.
Maybe, or probably like a half a year.
Maybe not much,
now.
but there might be something.
Probably like a half a year from now, we'll get the teaser trailer.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, anyway. All right, so I have nothing more to say about our Star Wars rumors and news. This is Boo Cha Cha signing off.
And this is Jeff. All right, it's been fun.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Listen to me very carefully.
Wake up.
time to die.
There are no strings on me.
Boy, this is a lot more fun when they're not shooting back.
Such heroic nonsense.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Dad.
Screw you, fat ass!
I'm going to tear off your skin like wrapping paper and deck the holes with your guts.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I can't lie to you about your choices, but you have my sympathy.
Get those nerds! Nerds!
Come with me if you want to come with me. Come with me.